Hello and welcome to this NDTV special. Tonight we decode the rumors and the half-truths behind the UP government's war on meat. Now remember, today across Uttar Pradesh, meat shops went on strike in protest against the state's government's crackdown on slaughterhouses. They say this is disrupting their supplies and they cannot operate. Now remember, the Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has said that the crackdown is only on illegal slaughterhouses. Let's listen.
मानक के अनुसार जो लाइसेंस लिए हैं उनका पालन कर रहे हैं, सरकार उनको नहीं छेड़ेगी। लेकिन जिन लोगों ने नेशनल ग्रेन ट्रिब्यूनल के आदेशों का उल्लंघन किया है, अवैध रूप से गंदगी फैला रहे हैं, जन स्वास्थ्य के साथ खिलवाड़ कर रहे हैं, उनको एक प्रक्रिया के तहत हटाइए।
Now, despite his saying this, at last count, 10 of the state's 41 legal slaughterhouses which export buffalo meat have been shut down. How? Given the maze of laws that govern any enterprise, it's easy to find fault in India if you are looking for it. Now, just remember, export abattoirs need 13 clearances, 13 clearances to operate from a range of agencies, central and state. Just one of these from the Commerce Ministry takes almost 18 pages to fill in before you get that clearance. Now, what our reporters have found is that teams of officials who've been visiting with members of close to a dozen departments armed with seals, carrying out inspections and closing down illegal slaughterhouses, legal slaughterhouses on the smallest of reasons without giving them any notice. So you just come in, find a small fault and see. Let's give you some examples. For example, 3 slaughterhouses, Alpha, India Frozen Foods and Al Rahman Frozen Foods, all in Sambhal, all buffalo meat exporters sealed. The reason? Simply because the CCTV is not working. ALM Industries in Saharanpur, integrated buffalo slaughterhouse, sealed. Reason? Groundwater permission pending. Al-Aqsa and Al-Yasir meat processing plants in Meerut sealed. Reason? A part of the plant was not approved by the local development authority. OMAR International in BIJNOR, an integrated buffalo slaughterhouse, sealed. Reason? The renewed license was not received. Now also hit are the final end of the meat supply chain. These are meat shops. They're being raided, closed down, or even told to operate behind a parda. Look at these images from Noida, not far away from where we're sitting, filmed by our reporter Nikhil Pandey. He sent us this.
We visited close to 60-odd meat shops in Noida selling mutton, fish and chicken, only to find that nearly all of them had been in parda for the past 1 week. The meat sellers claim that the police had forced them to erect these pardas in public interest to shield those who don't eat meat. The police, while refusing to comment on camera, said that the pardas had been erected by the meat sellers themselves. Yesterday, these shops were open, but today they are shut altogether.
Okay, so from being put behind a parda, now these shops have actually been closed down for reasons that remain unclear. Now, remember, this is not to justify illegality, but it's worth noting that it's not just about meat sellers. Close to 80% of India's population operates in the informal sector. And if you start going after that, if you start going after the informal sector with the same tough standards that you're applying to meat sellers, then you'll have a serious problem on your hands, especially in a state like Uttar Pradesh, where employment is already a problem. But the UP government is only cracking down on traders and suppliers of meat, not on the informal sector as a whole. And that's why there are worries that this can take a communal edge. And that's why it prompted Uttar Pradesh's health minister and government spokesperson Siddharth Singh to say this today, to urge overzealous officials from backing off.
अति उत्साहित जो अधिकारी हैं वो भी अपने विवेक का इस्तेमाल करें जिनके पास लाइसेंस है। उदाहरण के लिए किसी ने लाइसेंस में सीसीटीवी कैमरा लगाने की बात कही गई है और नहीं लगाया तो उसको बंद करने का आप प्रयास ना करें, वहां पे उनको कहें सीसीटीवी लगाएं, फिर से उसका जाके आप इंस्पेक्शन कर लें, कुछ समय दें। मगर जानकारी आ रही है कि ऐसा भी किया जा रहा है, वो गलत है, उनको समय दें.
All right, and Siddharth Singh now joins us live from Lucknow. Thanks very much indeed, Siddharth Singh, for being with us. And those were very, very important words from you, by the way, urging these officials to not get carried away. But just today, in fact, today, despite this very strong statement from you, we heard that raids have been carried out on 3 more legal abattoirs. So, is the signal from Lucknow yet to percolate to the ground?
No, Vasu, you must understand, if all the abattoirs which are existing, now somebody has to go there and find out whether they have a license or they don't have a license. Now, in case they don't have a license, it's illegal and then they need to be shut down. But those who have a license and they're complying with the license, then there's no need to worry. And as I mentioned, which the clipping that you showed of my press conference, we have said to the officers, and we have come down very heavily on them, that do not be over enthusiastic and take steps, take a structured opinion and make a decision there and there, which is a minor thing. Just let it go, give a warning and ask them that we'll come back after a week. So I think that's where we stand. And certainly the action is against anything which is illegal, which has been mushrooming, and there has been a huge illegal trade which is happening, and there are other areas which we have started targeting, that is like mining.
Okay, I did want to ask you about that. I know that you've targeted other areas, but this very high priority of cracking down on the meat trade is something which I'm still trying to understand, because just to remember, while I fully understand the sensitivities over cow protection, and we'll put that graphic up on the screen just to inform our viewers that Uttar Pradesh already has very tough anti-cow slaughter laws, which ban the slaughter of cow, which ban the slaughter of bull, which is of course the male cow, which ban the slaughter of calf. The maximum penalty for this is a 7-year jail term and 10,000 rupees fine. But the slaughter of buffaloes is allowed and has been permitted for years. So why this concern about meat slaughter?
Well, it's not a concern. If you are allowed as per the law. First, we must understand this law was not made by the BJP. It's an existing law.
Yes.
And second is, if they have a license and they continue slaughter a buffalo, we aren't objecting to it. But if they are doing it illegally, and you must understand, Vasu, it's nice to debate on television channel. I have also visited many areas that is in my own constituency, which is everything is illegal there.
Right.
If you are staying in a village area, or let's say an unauthorized colony, the buffalo is slaughtered in the midst of the colony. The blood flows into the nalas, and it has hygienic problem. It has pollution. It has hygienic. There is a health hazards there.
Yes,
so you need to regularize it, and that is where we are focusing, and nothing else beyond that.
I agree. It's just that, like I said, that 80% of India's economy or workforce is in the informal sector. When you just only target the meat trade, the fear is that this leads to a communal dimension to your actions.
Well, they say ignorance is bliss, but in this case, I would say those who are raising is certainly our adversaries, and they are in opposition. But media shouldn't fall for prey.
Okay.
Those who run the business are coming from the minority community. Those who work are from the majority community.
Absolutely.
Why differentiate?
Absolutely.
And then say that it's communal. So please, I think you are a wise person. You shouldn't be using that word. How can something which is illegal can be termed as communal? No, religion doesn't come out in an illegal business.
Okay. Well, I want to ask you about a statement made by one of your MLAs, Vikram Saini, who said he'll break the hands and legs of anyone who disrespects the cow. Is that statement, is the BJP, is the state government in sync with that statement? And if not, is there going to be any action against Mr. Saini?
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And this I clarified in morning's press after discussion with the Chief Minister. Chief Minister has said very categorically, and that he mentioned during the Council of Ministers meeting, which I had briefed, 4-5 days back, and I repeated the same. We need to restrain ourselves in our conduct and in our language, and this is something unacceptable, and therefore what we need to do with our MLA, and that's an internal matter. I won't go on record here, but let me say we don't subscribe to this kind of language, and we honestly and sincerely are a government for the people, and in that case all the people of different religion and caste come in together, and that's why we say sabka saath sabka vikas. Okay, now
today your colleague in Parliament, Nirmala Sitharaman, the Commerce Minister, gave statistics which suggested that India's buffalo meat exports just in the recent fiscal have already hit almost 20,000 crores, of which almost 7,000 crores is just from Uttar Pradesh alone. And as you know, this is a trade that employs lakhs of workers. Are you concerned that for a state where jobs are a problem, where revenue is a problem, that going after this sector is going to hurt you?
Well, we are conscious of the fact that revenue can be hit, but while we are conscious, we have to also take a note that this government, learning from our central government, that is the Modi ji, we will not allow anything which is illegal. There are steps where we can correct it, and we will take appropriate step to correct it and increase our revenue. And we are quite confident. We have 5 years. If we do things legally, there is a business climate which will flourish, and in that environment we will be able to do and deliver better.
Last question to you. Would you be open to meeting representatives of the meat industry who say that they're struggling to get a word in with the government, or have you already met them? In which case, my question is redundant.
Well, I made an open offer after discussion with the Chief Minister in my press conference, and I'm happy. I'm receiving the delegation tomorrow at 3 p.m. And your cameramen are all invited for it.
All right. Siddharth Singh, thank you very much indeed for that.
Thank you.
Let's widen the debate. I'm joined by GVL Narasimha Rao, BJP spokesperson. In the studio with us, Fauzan Alawi, head of the Meat Association. Thanks very much, Fauzan. Also, Ghanshyam Tiwari, spokesperson of the Samajwadi Party. I want to come to Fauzan Alawi first before I go to GVL. Fauzan, you just heard Siddharth Singh there saying that he is going to ask the officials to rein themselves in, to not be trigger happy. In fact, he made that statement this morning. Are you reassured by that? Is that message percolating to the ground?
That will come to know only tomorrow morning.
Okay.
But the statement by the Honorable Minister is extremely reassuring.
Okay.
Because today also there are raids happening, and if you see the list
today, sorry, just to clarify, today there were raids?
There were raids in Khurja.
Okay.
Three plants.
These are again export plants?
These are all export plants. Now,
of the kind that you run?
Yes. See, these require 21 permissions from the state, central government. Okay, so they cannot be one of those fly-by-night operators that you're operating from a gully or from a go-down.
Right.
See, clarity has to be there. There's a lot of wrong media about buffalo and cow slaughter. Cow slaughter is a law and order issue, and anybody doing that has to be reined in the way they should be.
No question about it.
So now we are law-abiding, tax-paying companies.
Okay.
So if there are any checks and balances, so if I need 21 compliances, out of that 20 compliances are there. Okay, this is an international standard plant that is running, and hundreds of employees are there. So you cannot just shut it down. You see the 10.
You need to give notice.
No,
there
is a concept of a show cause notice. Is the legal way to do it. Now, if you see the way the plants are being shut, with those stamps and those white, it's like a criminal place that is.
Okay, but now we have that assurance from Siddharth Singh, and let's see, as he said, whether the word percolates to the ground. He also says that he'll be meeting a delegation of members of your fraternity tomorrow at 3 o'clock. GVL Narasimha Rao, I want to come back to something I asked Siddharth Singh, which is about the reason for this entire focus. And again, this raises concerns about the manner in which the BJP has framed this. I want to put up on the screen the graphics of what your manifesto said during these elections and what the reality is. And this was your justification for this. Now, what the manifesto said is that there was actually a drop in the animal count during the tenure of the Samajwadi Party, that there was actually a drop in the count of the number of animals, the livestock of Uttar Pradesh during the Samajwadi Party tenure. But if you look at the numbers, if you look at the animal census, it shows that Uttar Pradesh's buffalo population actually went up 61% between 1997 to 2012. The manifesto also said that milch cattle was smuggled and the dairy industry was hit, and that's why you're cracking down on these slaughterhouses. But if you look at the reality, Uttar Pradesh's milk production has actually gone up 52% between 2005 to 2015. These are the most recent figures we have. So are you guilty, Mr. Narasimha Rao, of misleading people for the reasons behind this action?
No, Srinivasan, I think if governments are guilty of enforcing the court orders,
yes,
the NGT order of 2015, I think as a media house,
yeah,
I think you have a responsibility to tell your viewers that
yeah,
there was a 2015 National Green Tribunal order,
yes,
that held a large number, almost most of the slaughterhouses in Uttar Pradesh to be illegal. And this NGT had passed orders to both the central and the state governments,
yeah,
and asked them to take immediate action. And
now,
particularly it was the state government which had to take action.
Yeah,
and the Uttar Pradesh Pollution Control Board
yeah,
had put out statistics saying most of the slaughterhouses are illegal.
Okay, I just want to get a quick word in from Fauzan, because I think there's a little bit of confusion over which slaughterhouses are illegal.
No, can I just finish? Can I haven't
you have
finished,
export
Srinivasan.
slaughterhouses
I think
and you have domestic slaughterhouses.
I'll not take time.
I accept
I'll
your
not
point.
take time.
I accept your point.
No.
I just want that clarification.
See,
No, they said no. The reason why
Yeah.
the reason why NGT passed that order,
yes,
was there was severe violation of the environmental safeguards required, and therefore they became a serious health hazard, serious pollution and environmental hazard.
But Mr.
Just
Narasimha Rao,
go 50 kilometers from Delhi into Uttar Pradesh.
But Mr.
the
Narasimha Rao,
stink, the stink that comes out of some of these slaughterhouses is unbearable.
Okay,
for a
but
stretch
those
of
are,
20
but that's
kilometers,
not the
even if you
reason.
sit inside a car.
I don't dispute the fact
No,
that there
that's
is
the
an NGT
principally
order.
the reason.
But that is
And
not
you
the
should-
reason you
you
cited
should-
in your manifesto.
No,
in the
come on.
manifesto, no, sir, can I ask the question now? I allowed you, so allow
I-
me. In the manifesto, you created the myth of the fact that the livestock of UP is under peril, that they're being slaughtered in large numbers, and you also created the false alarm of the fact that this is actually leading to a drop in milk production, neither of which is factually the case. Now you're turning around and saying it's because of pollution.
I think, Vasu,
You just moved the goalposts.
I think we are not, we follow, we know what is happening. I'm sure in the media, you have a responsibility to tell your viewers
I'm
that
just going
there
by
is
your
a background
manifesto.
to the whole thing.
But those facts on the screen, let's put those facts back up on the screen.
Animals
Those are just-
is also a serious concern,
But that
reported
is-
from
but
a
that
large
is
number
not-
of districts in Uttar Pradesh.
Okay, but
That's-
that was not there in your manifesto. In your manifesto, you created the perception that there is a threat to the livestock. Let me just bring in Ghanshyam Tiwari, because Ghanshyam Tiwari, the problem is that the Sapa government is not exempt in this, because it's also true that a number of domestic slaughterhouses, which were meant for consumption by the domestic market, government-run slaughterhouses run by municipalities, were operating either without licenses or licenses had not been renewed, and that's why you had this huge network of informal meat traders and meat shops, which any government can come in and say, look, they're running without licenses, they're running without regulations, we can shut them down. This is on you, Ghanshyam Tiwari.
Well, as you presented the numbers quoted by Union Minister for Commerce in Parliament today,
Yeah.
right? The industry is 27,000 crore last year in revenue, the buffalo meat export. And this year already it is 21,000 crore, 7,000 crore coming from Uttar Pradesh. So this is a serious industry with huge employment, huge revenue generation, and you cannot come with a heavy hand.
I'm not talking about the export part. I'm
Right.
talking about the huge network of slaughterhouses that supply the domestic market, which
I'm
have
coming
not
to
been
that. I'm coming to
regularized
that.
by you, which are running without clearances, and now they're open prey.
I'm coming to that. I'm coming to that. This is a serious industry, and you cannot come with a heavy hand against such an industry. For a very long time across India, not just in Uttar Pradesh, the orders against this industry has been that you should bring in more automation, you should bring in more hygiene, you should ensure that animal waste does not pollute environment, you should ensure that animal waste and blood does not pollute groundwater. These are the grounds that have been acting against this industry, and industry is, along with some empathy from the government, is moving towards that. But when you use an NGT order to spread a propaganda, a few months later...
Why didn't the Samajwadi Party government do that? Why didn't they create hygienic, licensed slaughterhouses in cities, or make sure that those that existed were following the norms? Isn't that your fault?
I want to use another NGT order. I want to use another NGT order to tell you the perspective on this. The NGT, a few months later, the same judge ordered that anybody who is doing open defecation or throwing waste on railway tracks should be fined 5,000 rupees by Indian Railways. How many people have been fined? There are operational issues which a government has to deal with on a day-to-day basis. The improvements happen on a continuous basis. If one says on one hand, pats one's own back, saying that this industry grew in past 5 years, and on the other hand you say that everybody in this industry is illegal, and then you produce a mass propaganda. Mr. Amit Shah, BJP president, went election after election telling the story of how the bell of a cow got stolen, and it was actually put to a slaughterhouse. So the propaganda around this has become far more...
Let me just, we've already covered that point. Let me just, I know GVL you want to come in, but I want to ask you, GVL, the concern that I asked Siddharth Singh earlier as well, that there's a fear that while you may try to say that, look, we will only take action using the machinery of the state, vigilantism is still rampant by self-appointed Gaurakshaks. Just listen today to what my colleague Manas Singh found when he went to a buffalo trading mandi in western Uttar Pradesh, where the numbers have dropped dramatically from almost 1,000 to literally 4 or 5 buffaloes because of the fear of vigilantism. Let's listen.
सर व्यापारी $1-2 लाख रुपए की भैंस लेकर जाता है और शिवसेना वाले, बजरंग दल वाले, योगी सेना बताकर उनकी भैंसें लूटते हैं, और पुलिस जो है तमाशगीन बन के खड़ी रहती है, उन्हें बताती है कि विश्व हिंदू परिषद के कार्यकर्ता, और उन पर कोई किसी तरह का आरोप नहीं लगाया जाता। हर आदमी भयभीत है। तो इसकी जो है सर योगी जी से, माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी से मैं अपील करता हूं कि आप जो है इन्हें रोकें और इनके साथ सख्त कार्रवाई करें।
3-4 लाख का माल लूट जाता। क्या बोल रहे हैं? मैं 3-4 लाख का माल लूट जाता, लोग बाग डरते हैं लाते हुए।
ये दूध वाली जो भैंसे
दूध वाली के लिए दूध नहीं, वैसे भी एक बात सुनिए, अगर काटने
छोड़ रहे हैं, स्लॉटर हाउस वाले भी ले जा रहे हैं, दूध वाले भी ले जा रहे हैं, जो रास्ते में चल रहा है वो सबको पकड़ रहे हैं।
इस डर की वजह से कोई खरीदने नहीं आ रहा है।
आप बताइए क्या करें? रास्ते में जाएंगे, लुटेंगे, मारेंगे वो हमें। ये कह रहे हैं कि आप आओ मत, हम योगी जी की सेना है, हम योगी जी की सेना है, हम पकड़ेंगे तुम्हें, मारेंगे भी।
GVL Narasimha, this is the problem, that these self-appointed vigilantes, some of them call themselves Shiv Sena, some of them call themselves Yogi Sena, continue to operate without any fear.
Now, Vasu, the message from the government has always been very clear.
Right.
I think anyone trying to really take law into their hands, I think will have to pay a price.
Right.
And this is a transition time. I certainly agree this is a transition time from a lawless Uttar Pradesh into a law-enforced Uttar Pradesh.
Okay.
And this is therefore the time. For a few days you might really, the adjustment will take some time, but no individual who is not a government authority, no vigilante group can take law into their hands. And the Chief Minister had made that position very clear. Honorable Prime Minister referred to this cow vigilante groups many months ago. I think government will come down very heavily on anyone who is trying to take law into their hands.
Okay, last word from you, Fawzan Alawi.
See, this is a new government. We are all hopeful for a better tomorrow.
Okay.
Now, I feel what has gone by has gone by. The new government should handhold the local butcher, help them find the right path. Whether it's meat, whether it's milk, whether it's dairy, alcohol, every industry is polluting in their own way.
Right.
Okay, and there are a lot of people who are like daily wage earners.
Sure.
So it's the government's job to handhold, be the big brother, and show them the right path.
Okay, well, we certainly hope that's what the government will do. Certainly very assuring words there from Siddharth Nath Singh. We'll hold him and the UP government to it. Thank you all so much for joining us on this debate. We'll have to leave it here. From all of us, good night.